Hey, pod people. Welcome to this short emergency impromptu episode of Why Do People Do That? I feel like we're having a crisis, people. Stranger Things. We're having a Stranger Things crisis. And so here we are. It's your mental health team here to help you to process what's happening. So
what is happening?
Let's talk about it. So Jake.
Yes.
We have Jake here. Jake's been here before. Jake is our social work student, cousin, and I guess expert in everything Gen Z and millennial. He tries.
Big title.
The big title. So let's fill Heather in a little bit while we fill in our pod people who might not know what we're talking about. There's a crisis going on right now because Stranger Things has ended.
It's over.
And it appears
New Year's Eve, they dropped the last of it, right?
Yeah. It appears people are having a very hard time processing their grief. So let's talk about what we're seeing. Take it away, Jake.
All right. So season 5 came out, huge hit, and it ended. That's kind of a problem. The way it ended, people were really upset.
Because it wasn't wrapped up, or because there will be no more Stranger Things?
Both. A lot of people felt that way. It just ended in a way. Are we spoiling it? It's fine.
I mean, spoiler alert. If you don't want to know what happens, don't watch this. Go ahead.
Two of the main characters, 11 and Mike, they didn't get their happily ever after. Every other character in the show got a send-off except them.
Okay.
And this led to people going crazy with fan theories, deep diving every single episode, picking it apart scene by scene,
analyzing things and trying to find a way to feel better.
So they're like, this is why this happened. Is 11 dead? Is 11 not dead? We don't know. The Duffer Brothers said only person who knows is Millie Bobby Brown, who plays 11, and them, no one knows the truth. So this led to what's called conformity gate.
Oh,
yeah. And people were analyzing so much, they thought that there was going to be a secret episode after the finale.
I had heard that, and people were looking for Easter eggs, and there's been all kinds of stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people are going crazy about it. Like, if this happened in this episode, this happened in this episode, nothing connects. That means there has to be another one because they didn't finish it. This is all imagined. And so the first official episode that was supposed to come out after the finale was the 9th, I believe. And one of the big things that happened on the 9th was the episode didn't come out and drove people nuts. Netflix crashed. So
people looking for this.
Logging in to see.
People signed into Netflix all at once across the world at 8 p.m. Eastern or whatever time. Crashed Netflix because of all of the social media convincing people this was real. There's tons and tons of fan theory episodes, reels, people just clickbaiting people into believing this too.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone who wanted to believe followed this and crashed Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
And then today is the second day it's supposed to happen.
Because there's a documentary dropping today.
Yes, I did hear that.
So people are like, it's not really a documentary.
It's like the secret episode.
It's really just because everyone needs to see that 11 is okay. People can't handle not knowing whether or not she's dead or not.
Which, I mean, this is kind of like, this happens a lot with a lot of the shows that are on, like, we used to see this all the time on network TV. Like, they wouldn't pick up a second season of a show, and you're just sort of left with that, like, whatever happened, like that kind of unfulfilled, like, unending. But it sounds like they did wrap this up.
That's why it's called conformity gate, right? This is what Jake brought to my attention earlier. The reality is it is wrapped up. We've got the answer to everything. Like they beat the bad guy, right? The upside down is gone. Hawkins is all back to normal. Everyone's back to their happy, merry little life. Pretty much everyone survived except maybe one person. But it's not the tie it up with a bow ending that everyone would expect. Right. And so that's why they call it conformity gate, because the show should conform to what all of the other shows do and give the audience what they're looking for. But because they did not conform, I guess, as producers, directors, writers, and give the audience their wrap up with a little bow and give them exactly what they wanted, they can't accept that this could possibly be the reality. They can't. They just can't do it. And I think what's interesting for me is it speaks to just where we're at in society, that we have a really hard time really just sitting with and tolerating our own distress. We don't like how it feels. And we're so used to instant gratification and seeing things right away and knowing what's going to happen. And being left in the not knowing is just something that in today's world, I think we have a really hard time tolerating. People are just like, no, I need an answer. I need to know. And there's so much information and there's so many different little online areas to get lost in.
Well, I think
to
that's
obsess
what's
in.
so interesting too. Like that there's the platform for all of this.
There is.
Like I remember when The Sopranos ended and it just, was playing that Foreigner song or whatever it was and just went black and people lost their minds over that. But the internet wasn't then what it is now, where you can find these groups and these subreddits and these whole forums to kind of discuss this and to come up with these weird theories or to be looking for these hidden messages and Easter eggs. It's an entire new world.
It's amazing. I see, showing up in my feeds, right? Whether it be Instagram or Facebook, whatever it is, people are podcasters and YouTubers and whatever. And they're but when Mike was sitting on the truck and he smiles at 11, Derek smiles back at him and waves. So that's proof that 11 wasn't really there and she was invisible because 8 made her invisible. You don't know what the hell I'm talking about, and that's okay. But the whole point is watch the show. It's so good.
Now that you're telling me it's not wrapped up well, I can't.
It's so good. It doesn't matter. It's so good. I mean, I wasn't really upset about 11. I didn't like how they ended, people. I really wanted them to save Henry. I was so upset that they didn't save Henry. That's the part I lose sleep over. Henry was just Will. He was just Will that didn't have a Joyce.
So I think the difference because I just saw the Broadway show.
Yeah, it's so good.
That changed my opinion on Henry.
Yeah.
But I think the majority of people didn't care that much about Henry. Like you did, because you saw the show. So you had the understanding of who he was.
He was just a tormented little boy who was possessed by a demon, and it wasn't his fault. And I wanted them to save him, and they didn't. But you know what? I can move on with my life. I'm not going to join online groups and whatever. But I think the problem here is that people, you know what it is also? I think the way that things work today, it's you have a show drops, right? And there's 9 episodes or 10 episodes or whatever it is. A show like Stranger Things, there's 3 years in between seasons.
Yeah.
It was
a big
9-year span for the whole series.
Years. So think about it. A lot of young people, right? We were talking about it, right? You were 20 years old.
Yes, my entire 20s was this show.
Right. So this whole era of your life was Stranger Things. And my daughter, right? She's 22. So she was 13 when this came out. So her entire childhood basically was Stranger Things. So I think also part of it is just even if it wrapped up nicely, I still think this would be going on.
You think so?
Yeah. Not to the same extent because there's so much unrest around 11 not being okay. But I think just the fact that it's over is hard. And maybe people are leaning on the idea that 11 might not be okay and needing to know what happened to 11 because it's not just about her. It's about not being able to let go of something that becomes such a part of your life for 9, where you resonate with this character, right? Or the friend group and the different things that they go through, right? Because I think that there's a lot of emotional connection to the characters.
Well, that's what the Duffer Brothers said, whether it's post all of the craziness or not, but what they originally said, the Duffer Brothers made the show.
Yeah.
Was that 11 was the vision of their childhood. And so 11's gone. Everyone else is going to move on with their adulthood. And so 11 is them leaving childhood because 11's gone. Childhood's gone. Now they're all going to adulthood. And that's why 11 is either alive or not alive. We don't know.
She also represents, everything that went wrong, right? Even though she's the hero, right? And she's the superhero, and she saves everybody multiple times and they couldn't have done it without her. It also wouldn't have really, like, they wouldn't have been pulled into it and it wouldn't have really happened without her either, right? So
Yeah.
I think that they kind of look at it like her no longer being in their life is their way of moving on, because they couldn't have moved on with her, because they would have had to continue to hide her and she could never really have a normal life.
Yeah, there was no happy ending for her.
There's no
as
happy ending
originally.
for her, so she has to leave all of them so that they can have their happy ending. And that's sometimes sacrifices that we make. And I think that's just part of that's part of life that people don't like, right?
Not having everything kind of tied up and wrapped up with a happy ending.
Yeah, I think it just represents something that makes us all uncomfortable, right? That sometimes we have to let go of something, sometimes we have to say goodbye to something, and sometimes we have to grieve in order to move on. And I think that having a hard time in Grieving 11 in a way represents having a hard time grieving Stranger Things and what it means for a lot of people and the era of their life, like your childhood or your 20s,
I was
or
pretty upset about it.
Something
I
you
wanted to
commit
believe
so
it
much
was real.
time
Yeah.
to, though, and then it just being over. It is sort of disappointing. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I looked forward to this. I've been waiting for this. I connected with these people. I had, a book bag or whatever, and then all of a sudden, it being done. It is kind of sad.
Wow.
yeah.
How many seasons of Sopranos were there? That was a lot. That was a really long show.
Mm-hmm.
And that, if that aired today, and I think the ending of that show would be bigger than this. Just the way they ended that show, just straight to the black scene,
Mhm.
and you're like,
What?
yep, what?
Did the TV just do that? Yep. It was like, is that really? Did that happen?
I think,
Well, he died,
yeah,
right?
that's what the assumption is. But did he? I think the internet would have taken that and ran with it.
I guess people would start their theories based on what they need to believe.
Yeah, so
Right. So I think, a point being, for anyone who's watching, notice what's coming up for you in this ending here. If Stranger Things really meant a lot to you and, you are having a hard time, which a lot of people are, and I get it. I love the show. It's amazing. And I was like, oh, it's over. That's kind of sad. And I was not thrilled with how certain things ended. And so be curious about yourself, right? Be curious about what is coming up for you. Is it about letting go of your childhood? Is it about an era of your life ending? Is it about, in what ways the show resonated for you, or certain characters that you connected with or clicked with? What is it that's happening for you? Because what's interesting is, for so many people, it's something different, right? For some people, it's I'm saying goodbye to my childhood. And for some people, it's I need to know that there's a happy ending for 11. And for some people like me, it's just like, but Henry, what the hell? Like, what?
I think it's also the
So
ritual
disappointed.
of the show, like 6 Feet Under. When I was living in Long Beach, every Sunday night we would make, a bunch of my neighbors, we would make dinner, we'd all watch 6 Feet Under. And like that, and then when that was over, it was like, like it was just a big loss. Like, sure, we can continue to have dinner on Sunday, but it was never going to be the same. It was never going to be that sort of moment in our life and that time.
Yeah, it's grief,
Yeah.
right? And so I feel like what happens there and what's happening with Stranger Things, it's that stage of grief, right? Where we're bargaining, right?
Please come back.
It can't be real, right? They're not really gone,
There's another episode, I swear.
right? There's still, I think it's shock, right? It's bargaining, it's grief, right?
Mhm.
We're grieving. It's exactly what's happening. And I think that we need to take a step back and we need to take a deep breath. And we need to just allow ourselves to feel whatever it is. And it can be very intense, even though it's, just a TV show. It's not. It's whatever it represents for you. And sitting acceptance of the loss can be sad. And sometimes we have to just allow ourselves to feel it and move forward and understand it, because it helps you understand something about yourself. Right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Any other thoughts? Anything else that we might have missed there that is important, you think?
You guys could talk about this for hours. So I think it's just the whole idea of that sense of disconnection and that loss that comes with not having that to watch anymore.
Yeah, it's just interesting because of social media and technology that we're able to see everyone's grief,
Yeah.
Mhm.
right? And because we're all grieving together, it's sort of like this collective experience, right? Which makes it even more powerful.
I think it's interesting, like the difference, like not to dive into this, but what's
Yeah.
interesting is the different types of grief, like you were talking about, such as say it's leaving your childhood behind. Whereas like for me, I was really obsessed with the relationship aspect of it. I wanted them to be together.
Yeah.
And then they're not.
Yeah.
And then people wanted other characters to be together, but that's a whole other thing.
I
So-
really needed Henry to be saved. Right.
Wow.
So
That was my thing.
I
I
think
was me and my daughter, the two of us were just like devastated that they didn't save. Like we're just like, come on, it was right there. It almost happened. It almost happened. It was right there, and it started to happen, and I was like, it's happening, and then it didn't happen, and I was like, what?
I'm
It's all right. I'll get over it. It's not real.
not real.
It's not real.
But it's really that's what's so interesting, that this whole thing that is not real has such an impact on
Yeah.
so many people in such a profound way.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And I think that's the interesting part. So people, we're going to leave you with that. Notice how profound it is for you. Be okay with it. It's okay. It's not something to be ashamed of. Learn something about yourself from it and just give yourself a minute to grieve and be okay with that. Sometimes feelings are hard, but we can do hard things. We can do it. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us and having this quick chat about Stranger Things. Don't worry, there's going to be a spinoff and we'll all be watching it. Yes, of course.
Eleven's alive.
Eleven's alive, and so is Henry, and they're going to save him.
So what do people complain about?
We don't know.
We don't know.
We just want to believe.
I believe.
I believe.
Oh, so there's not
I
really.
believe.
Oh my God. Okay.
All right.
We're done.
We done. All right, people. You know what to do.
Like, follow, subscribe.
Share, and come back next time. Why Do People Do That is recorded and produced by Press Record Studios.